Hello and welcome back to Jarvis Johnson Gold, the premium channel that is free. It is free, but if you're watching this, you're premium. And you found me at a very reality television time in my life. I've been out of the game for a minute, but I'm happy to say that I'm back watching trash television. I got into The Traitors because it was an opportunity to hate Colton from The Bachelor all over again. Then I started watching Survivor. I'm not even a Survivor person, but I've been binging a bunch of seasons in preparation for Survivor 50. Because the more the merrier, I'm watching Love is Blind again as well. Love is Blind and I have a storied history. I've talked about it since the first season. Enough people watched it and it was cheap enough to produce, so they just left the money printer running. This season of Love is Blind, which is the 10th season of Love is Blind, is based in Ohio. This is interesting to me because all the other Love is Blind seasons have been based around a central city, and maybe you live outside of the city, but whatever. It's Love is Blind Dallas, Love is Blind Houston, Chicago, Atlanta. This one's just Love is Blind Ohio. So I guess just the state of Ohio, you guys figure it out. For the most part, the format hasn't changed. The hosts are still nowhere to be found. People are just showing raw feet in the pods, and I think that's something that maybe just annoys me, but it seems like they're rubbing it in. And they're still trying to skirt the core conceit of the show by asking pointed questions that give them some information about the person's appearance.
I try to picture, I'm like, okay, what does Jess look like?
So if like someone looked at you, would they be like, wow, they go to the gym a lot? So for Thanksgiving, does your family have a lot of soul food? Wow, you wear 6-inch heels? You must be taller than all the guys around.
Just picturing you with 6-inch heels, I'm like thinking that. You're like 5'7", you're literally gonna be fucking 6'1".
One of the benefits of expanding Love is Blind to the entirety of Ohio is they've managed to find the worst guy in the state. Today, Chris from Love is Blind Ohio, the worst guy. I'm surprised. I'm genuinely impressed because there's been a lot of awful dudes. I think the last video I made about Love is Blind, other than like a lawsuit for how shitty their production is about that guy Shake, who was also asking women like, hey, can I lift you up? How heavy are you? Tell me about your face. In their 10th season, Love is Blind has to know that their experiment has failed. I haven't seen them refer to it as an experiment that much this season. I think it does still happen. Yeah, the experiment's failed, okay? Love is not blind. The physical matters. Big surprise. People really, really try to convince themselves that they don't believe in that because it gets them on the show. And Chris is a man who, again, I don't know the man, though unfortunately we are going to have to talk about his antics outside of the show as well. But in my professional opinion, it appears to me that Chris is a man who is lying to his partner, the audience, and himself. Chris is 32, turns 33 in the show. He's 5'8", that's relevant later. He loves to do Ironmans, triathlons. He's a super active guy. And he says all the right things in the pods. His number one is initially this girl named Breezy, and he says so much in the show.
Rihanna has always been like on my top.
It's gonna be fine, gonna be fine.
But I think Jess is more open with her emotions.
But when Jessica, who is an internal medicine doctor and confides in him about how it felt to be in a hospital during COVID, like watching people go through their worst days, watching people perish, etc., how draining that was on her and her previous relationship. She's a divorcee. As a result of that trying time that she was in, has no ill will towards her past partner. She's great, and she's done nothing wrong. Chris is 5'8", and he's done everything wrong. It rhymed. I'm not just bringing up that he's short, but it is relevant. But before we get into that, we have a brief word from today's sponsor, Rocket Money. I don't know how your holidays were, but mine were, I overdid it a little bit, I think, with the gifts, and many of them were gifts to me. It's been a bit. It's time to take a step back, tighten the belt a little bit, and be a bit more responsible with my expenses. And whether you're looking to stay on top of your finances or just figure out where you spend a lot, Rocket Money's here to help. I am unfortunately the type of person to sign up for many a free trial that then later is going to charge me, and I completely forget, and they get me every time. And the next thing I know, I'm getting an email that's like a receipt for my $200 annual subscription to Cool Dudes Weekly. And I'm like, who signed up for this? And the answer is me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you save time managing your finances by allowing you to cancel subscriptions, track your spending, and create custom budgets all in one place. I love their subscription management feature, which automatically tracks every subscription I have in one singular place, so I actually know what's going on with my subscriptions, and I can cancel whichever ones I want in just a few clicks. So I'm sorry, Cool Guys Weekly, you've got to go. Rocket Money also provides personalized budgeting and spending insights, which allow you to see how your money's being spent and help you make intelligent decisions about what costs to cut if that's what you're looking to do. And really just like having the transparency and insights into what you're actually doing with your money can just help you make more educated decisions. Rocket Money is free to download, but you can get a free premium trial by signing up for Rocket Money with my link. You can go to rocketmoney.com/JarvisJohnson. You can scan the QR code on screen, and I'll also put a link in the description below. Thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video. The first peek into Chris's true colors come when Breezy is his number one, Jessica is his number two. Jessica comes out and says that she's really falling for Chris and that he's her number one.
I could only like see that possibility with one person, and that's you.
Wow. I mean, let me just take that in for a second. Since day 2, I've only had one number one, and it's my favorite person. It's Jess. Like, I was like, it's literally Jess.
He just lies and says that he only has eyes for her, and there's another girl that he's talking to be transparent. But hey, I mean, they're basically just bros. Doesn't even have any romantic feelings for her at all, which is a lie.
I would never, ever want you to pick me because I picked you.
There's one other person that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
But like the other connection that I have, it's like a dude almost hanging out with me.
And then when he goes in to talk to Breezy, she is actually cutting things off with him.
I feel like we've had an amazing connection, but I feel like I'm kind of at that point that I just like want to focus on my other connection.
Why?
Cause I hate doing this. Like,
No,
you're
it's great.
so
I'm glad you did, because I was actually gonna have the same conversation with you.
Stop it, Chris.
Actually, same, and I had no feelings. In fact, I met my soulmate yesterday. I'm not owned, is what I'm saying. I'm not owned. I was coming here actually to break up with you.
It's like you really kind of know. This probably isn't the strongest one. Like for me, I don't know. You just kind of feel it.
Actually, you suck, and I hate you, actually. We are on season 10 of the show, and I don't understand how people say things in the pods, not expecting the show to show them lying through their teeth and being two-faced. Like, it's happened multiple seasons in a row where someone says the same thing to multiple people, or someone says they're actually settling, but they're telling the other person that they're their number one. And it's like, do you just want to continue to be on the show? Because that's what it looks like. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. I understand feelings change. This is a very complicated situation we found ourselves in, but you're not inspiring a lot of confidence in me, Chris. One thing about Chris, and you'll see this in the clips that I have, is that he has a terrible poker face. Anytime something adjacent to the truth comes up, his face completely drops, and you can tell he's introspecting. He's in his mind going, damn, I wonder how I got myself into this situation, before continuing to lie through his teeth. Anyway, he continues to say all the right things to her face or to the wall.
I don't know. I
So
just
much
never.
to me, I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I really do mean that.
I feel like a little bit like my heart's gonna beat out of my chest.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. It's, what am I doing? Why do I feel the need to say this? Do I need to be on TV this bad? Yes, I do. This is how I win. I'm gonna continue lying. This is me. I'm Chris.
I try to picture. I'm like, okay, what does Jess look like? I have no idea. It's
I know.
fucking wild.
I try to picture, and maybe you could paint a picture for me. What does Jess look like? What do you look like? Love isn't blind. I'm just here for TV.
But I love all my heels and shoes.
I was just picturing you with 6-inch heels. I'm like thinking that.
I'm picturing you with 6-inch heels because I myself am 5'8", but I can't say it because of the rules. Can't say it because of the rules of the show, so I'm just going to tell you how scared I am of heels. Ladies. 6'1", by the way.
Choosing Jessica to be the person I want to spend my life with, it's almost like a premonition of fate. Oh.
So after the proposal, you meet, you get the reveal. He's relieved that she's not tall, which is already a sign that he does care about her physical appearance, but he still denies that, and he says everything's perfect. I feel that he is just saying things for the cameras.
I'm not gonna say anything to you.
I was like, how do I?
Because I'm not 6'3", obviously. So I was like, fuck, 6-inch heels. I was like, she's 6 foot with heels. I was like, she's gonna be like, yo, this guy.
Literally only 5 feet tall.
I love Jessica. I couldn't imagine being with anybody else.
And all is well, or is it? Then they go to their honeymoon with all the other couples. Chris is able to see Breezy for the first time, though she's happily in another relationship, of course. And then after Paradise, they return to their homes in nondescript city in Ohio. And here's the reason that Chris has gone viral, because of what happens right here. Chris is out for a night and doesn't really give Jess a heads up, allegedly. And this is the conversation he has with her as a result.
Hello.
Okay, first of all, why are you entering your home like that? There's chairs out there, but there's gotta be an actual door, right?
Where'd you go last night?
Where'd I go last night?
This is the look of a concerned man. This is the look of a man who's about to say some stuff. And boy, does he.
Instead, getting a text being like, I'm getting a drink with a friend, I'm staying down here. And like, that was it.
Like, I don't need to be in constant communication.
Nor do I. No, but I'm your fiance.
I understand. It's only been 48 hours.
So Chris has been non-communicative for like 2 days and defends himself by saying, I don't need to be in constant communication.
When I communicate, it doesn't need to be like this thing where it's like constantly going.
Not for me either.
Okay.
If I say,
Well, that's what you're making it sound, I felt like.
I sent you one text today saying that and
and I
saying that I
appreciate
love
it.
you, and you didn't say anything back.
And Jess is like, I texted you once in the last day. And I'm not asking for constant communication. But you can tell it's like this argument or this disagreement or something is about to bubble up because he's disinterested. Like he's disengaged. You can see it on his face. It's apparent from his actions. He says that a lot of his life, he hasn't been as direct as he needed to be, and then proceeds to not be very direct.
I feel like a lot of my life I wasn't as direct as I need to be. Do you think we have a good physical connection?
I do. Do you not?
I feel like it's super important, like to have that.
The question that he asked, do you think we have a good physical? You wouldn't be asking the question if that wasn't in question. She says, I do. And now I ask a yes or no question. He does not yes or no respond. He says it's important to have that. We agree. No one's disagreeing about that.
I'm trying to like pick my words carefully. Like I want to let's start off with this. I do want to like see this whole thing through.
He says he wants to see this whole thing through, and then he starts talking about their relationship in the past tense.
Like we got engaged for a reason. We had such a great connection. And like, it was real.
Interesting. You're talking about this as like a eulogy. Oh, it was real. It was so real for those weeks.
Didn't know what you looked like. And like for me, like just to be totally honest and like without sounding like a fucking dickhead.
And you guys aren't going to believe this, but he's about to sound like a fucking dickhead.
Like in the normal world, like I date people who like fucking do like fucking CrossFit and shit. Somebody who like works out all the time and like has like a different type of.
Listen, Chris is a bad communicator, and it's clear that he does not feel a physical connection with his partner. And that is real, and it happens all the time. It is how he communicates it and how he tries to justify his own perspective by body shaming his partner. I feel like it's intentional what he's doing, but even in the most generous case, his language is implicitly, if not explicitly, body shaming his partner. Do you think we have a physical connection? I like to date people who do CrossFit and Pilates all the time, and that's my normal thing. So like, I don't just come out and say it.
Somebody who like works out all the time and like has like a different type of, I don't know.
A different type of like body?
It's a thing people do. I feel like when they make someone else say the thing that they're afraid to say, it's very annoying to watch because it feels very weak to me. And it's like, you can't be like, hey, I'm not saying stuff direct, but I'm not feeling a spark. I think we should break up. Yeah. Wait, you said it. Wow, you think we should break up? I think so too. I was going to say those words, but when you said those words, I was like, that's exactly what I'm thinking. So we should break up.
Different type of like body?
It's just like somebody who does fucking like Pilates every day, or like someone who's like working out every day.
Different type of body. Yeah, no, I would never say that. But now that you've said it, I agree. And I don't like your body. Sorry.
In those situations, it's hard for me to be like physically, like when we're in that moment, like into it.
Hey, it's biological, okay? I'm not a villain. by any of the villainous shit I've just done. You're not a villain for not being attracted to someone. People on this show constantly are not attracted to each other once they see each other in person. You can just say, hey, let's not do this. I'm not gonna drag you through the mud. I'm not gonna waste your time while I already know how I feel physically and try to create another excuse for why we should break up. Because whether or not Jess works out all the time is not a secret to anyone. There are 2 clips in this show that have up to this point of her saying, damn, it's crazy how you work out all the time. I'm not like that at all.
But if I like saw you in the wild, I would think that you would only want to be with like a gym rat and you would never eat pizza with me.
That's interesting you say that.
You don't eat pizza.
Oh, I do. Fucking love pizza.
I just love eating and I do not love working out.
In fact, I was afraid that you would want someone who works out all the time, and I just want to eat pizza. She brought those things up, like, and then he was just like, yeah, I'm not even worried about that. But that's what he said. But then if you look back at those clips, he's clearly like questioning his life choices, but afraid to actually do anything about it.
I just don't know if it's like there for me.
For her, this has to be coming out of nowhere because everything he said up to this point has been to the contrary. But then his actions start to not line up. And then it's like, okay, something, solve for X, something is up.
Sex is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like we could get over, but I could get past that. And now I'm like, I don't want to like fake something.
I don't want to fake something the way I've clearly been faking it for a while. And we haven't even known each other for that long. It's like, how did you get to this point where you're already talking about faking it? It's like he's trying to embarrass her because he's led her on essentially to this point.
I've not talked to this person, but like over the past 2 days, I was thinking about it, about like what it would be like if I was with that person too. Just thinking about it.
What person?
The number 2 person I had.
But then if you're thinking that it couldn't get any worse, it does, because then he starts talking about how he might be interested in exploring things with Breezy, his other connection, who's already happily engaged to someone else. Why would you bring that up? Being honest is not an excuse for being an asshole, okay? Just because you think something doesn't mean you have to say it, doesn't mean you need to get someone else to validate that thing. Half the stuff he didn't need to say to her. If there wasn't a physical connection, there's not a physical connection. You don't need to like intellectualize it by being like, well, it's because you haven't sculpted your body out of marble. And thus I have ED, like thus I have erectile dysfunction. It's weirdly makes it her fault. And the more detail he goes into to like justify himself, the worse it looks. And he clearly doesn't understand how he's made her feel because he just throws his hands up and is like, well, sex is important. I mean, like, I don't know what you want me to do. I just like am not attracted to someone. And it's like, yeah, bro, that's not the problem. The problem is just being dishonest until you got to this point.
I'm just saying, like, these are just thoughts in my head.
Yeah, I mean, all of these things are really hard to hear.
Don't like that. Okay, obviously she's going to be hurt if you're hitting her with all this stuff that feels like it's coming out of left field under the guise of I just need to be honest. Also, I'm thinking about another girl I want to bone. Who might fit my needs better as you fail them. It's like raking her over the coals for not doing anything wrong because she was forthcoming and you weren't. The implication of what he's saying is, I want to make it work, but you just need to change your body, which is, by the way, not something you can just flip a switch and do. Second, don't do that to someone. She's already told, like, she decides what she wants to do with her body and has already told you, like, what her vibe is like with excessive exercise. And I'm like, don't really want to speak on her body, but she's a like fit person. It's weird that he's talking about the way that he's talking about it. And it's a shame that like, he's just kind of furthering the kind of body pressures that a lot of women already feel externally from the world. And it's just like confirming that, despite the fact that she did everything in her power to say, hey, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And he's like, take it. And then it's like, actually, I want to change these things about you, even though I said I was cool with them before. But now it's been 2 weeks and I'm not interested.
I don't want you to be like sad about it. Like,
so then she obviously starts crying and then he says, I don't want you to be sad about it. Dumb. dumb, shut up, what are you doing? You literally said things that could only make someone sad. There's like no world in which someone's like, the things you just said made me happy, actually. And then he says he wants to try figuring it out, but I don't know what that means in this context. Like, what is she supposed to do? It's a him problem.
I don't know how I'm supposed to be like fun now.
Oh, wow, okay.
What do you mean, oh, wow? How can you be so, well, I know the answer to this. He's a dumb man. I hate to say it. Normally, I like to judge these people by the character in their show and not like the person. I think he's a dumb guy as a person as well. And a bad one as well. I'll say it. You can prove me wrong, but there's more.
I feel really stupid.
Why?
Honestly, the fact that me not working out every day is even a sentence that came up in this conversation is blowing my mind.
Oh my gosh, that's not even what I meant by that.
Kudos to her for bringing that up, because if that is your deal breaker, first of all, how do you not know that? How do you end up on Love is Blind? There's so many questions I have. Because I have the same question when people are asking, like, can I fit you on my shoulders at a concert? If you must know, it's okay that love isn't blind for you. In fact, I don't really think it's blind for many people. I think the show is a failed experiment, but here we are. Okay, it's a successful experiment in capitalism.
Very upfront about that from the beginning. There was no like illusion that I was going to be going to Pilates every day.
I understand.
And it makes me feel like shit too, like not good enough in a way that like I can't control.
And I think she very eloquently illustrates why what he did was hurtful. Because it's not the feelings. It's not the lack of feelings that he has, because that is hurtful in and of itself. Like, she's like, hey, my life is not a secret. This is open information. I shared all this stuff with you beforehand, and now you're deciding that that's not enough for you. And instead of saying, hey, we need to go our separate ways, you're making it my problem.
With him doing this like complete 180 and feeling like a different person, I'm extremely disappointed. I'm extremely hurt.
She feels that he took a complete 180, and I would have to agree. It's like she brought all these things up beforehand, and he just said they were fine until he decided that he was done lying. This man then has the gall to say that he still thinks love is blind.
I believe love is blind. I mean, I fell in love with someone without seeing them.
I feel like they're paying them to say this. I have no proof.
But when two people want to fornicate or have sex.
Oh, fornicate or have sex. Thank you for clarifying that for me. And take your shoes off. I knew he'd be a wear shoes on my carpet kind of guy.
And I'm disappointed how it turned out. And like she said, she didn't work out. I get it. It's fine. But
then this man is immediately back on the prowl. He said, when one door closes, when one door slams shut, I'm going to try to pry another door open because Bree might still be available. She's engaged, but who cares? That doesn't stop old me. That doesn't stop Mr. Chris. Okay, he does not take no for an answer.
Bree was my number 2, and it's like...
Okay, Bree was your number 1. I don't know why we're revisionist history here. Why you're telling this to the producers who saw the words that you said and filmed them.
Maybe that's someone like I would be more attracted to, and I thought maybe I could say some of those things without feeling like I was being the bad person there.
He says with a straight face that he thought that he could say those things without feeling like a bad person.
She doesn't like the way I feel, and she feels like she can't be with me because of the way I feel, then...
What do you mean she can't be with me because of the way that I feel? You said you don't like her. You said you're not attracted to her. If she doesn't want to be with me because I said that I don't like the way her body looks and I can't get it up when we fornicate, then maybe she's just not the one for me. Like, do you know how you sound? Take your shoes off, bro. I know he just came from that window too. This is normally where it ends for shitty characters on Love is Blind. Chris said, hold my gym membership card because I got a few more in me. He then gets entirely too drunk at a happy hour and starts hitting on Breezy, his number 1 connection who's engaged, because he has no shame. And he doesn't give a flying fuck.
So then that night he started an Instagram out of nowhere. And then he posts a story on Instagram of him at a strip club.
So then at this happy hour, we find that Chris started an Instagram, which I found, then posted like videos of him at the strip club, allegedly. And if you wanted any more evidence of Chris being two-faced, look no further than his Instagram profile pic. Who is this man? Because I know it's not this man.
I'm just an honest person.
I know you are.
People fucking don't like it.
Big pet peeve of mine when people say that. Being honest doesn't mean you're an asshole, but it's what you mean by saying I'm an honest person. I just want to be an asshole with no consequences. Why are people so upset?
Dude, Bree is so hot.
It's funny because I like the idea of all of his dialogue happening after a toilet flushes. And because it's bullshit.
I saw Brie and I was like, yeah, I'm into her. I want to talk to her. And Connor, I don't care. What's he gonna do? Beat me up?
Maybe. Yeah, that'd be pretty, honestly, that'd be pretty funny. I'd watch. His cackles are like genuinely terrifying. So then he corners Brie and says some unhinged shit. This man must have a humiliation kink the way he keeps trying to defend himself to the girls and Brie, his former number one, who are all going to be taking Jess's side. But he's so drunk or stupid or both that he just will not shut up.
I don't care if she's a neurosurgeon or if she's a goddamn $100 million trust fund. If I'm gonna get married to someone for the rest of my life, I need to be like,
you don't need a reason. Like, you are married.
no, I'm not gonna say it. I don't give a fucking fuck.
I don't give a flying fuck. That's like his catchphrase, and he says it a lot.
I even said it, and it's gonna be on camera. Like, I don't give a flying fuck. Like, I need someone who, like, that does, like, Pilates.
What is he talking about? I mean, he's too drunk and stupid. So sorry. No points detected.
I need there to be a sexual attraction when we're naked together.
I need there to be a sexual attraction when we're naked together. Sorry. I'm being so mean right now. He deserves it, I think.
Like, having sex with someone, it's like pheromones, and like it's like you're with together and like you love it with each other.
What are you talking? You get him off my screen. And then he wraps up by hitting on Brie, extremely inappropriately.
Because when you say like me and Connor, I'm just kind of like,
What? Why is it funny?
you want me to let it rip?
You want me to let her out? Because I can freaking, dude, I'm unhinged. The way that I can just say people don't like it when I'm honest.
I could have turned up the notch with you, and Connor wouldn't be.
What do you mean?
In existence.
I could have turned up the notch, and Connor wouldn't be in existence. My sheer masculinity would melt him from the inside out.
Best you've ever had?
What, sex? No, but it's good.
Okay. I like to give the best.
I like to give the best. I'll give Brie the benefit of the doubt because the rest of the episodes aren't out. But I'm like, why are you even being honest with this man? This is like a walking id. He can't think critically right now. Don't give him the time of day. He's just being honest.
He's a very submissive guy. I'm not a submissive guy.
Dude, this guy listens to podcasts. That's what one thing I can say for sure about him is this motherfucker listens to podcasts because he talks like a fucking bot. Okay. And unfortunately, that's where Chris's story ends because the next bunch of episodes isn't out yet. However, on a very serious note, a bunch of information has been leaked about Chris that kind of confirmed that he's a horrible person. And mainly this comes from his ex-girlfriend, Marta, who posted a full call that Chris made to her where he just sounds completely belligerent. This clip comes from Reality Steve, who I'm familiar with from his work with Bachelor Leaks, but the full interview is an hour long and I can link it. This clip is quite long, so I'm not going to show the whole thing, but I will just show the highlights. Again, I'll link it so you can see the full thing in context as if that really explains or lets Chris off the hook in any way. The context of this, and again, it's going to be pretty belligerent, so there's not much context you can give, but Martin and Chris dated before Love is Blind, then he ghosted apparently, said he was going on a business trip, and that was filming the show. This is all alleged. And then they got back together after he finished filming the show. And at some point left her a really horrible voice memo. And she asked him like what that was about. And then he called her and she recorded the call. And then is now presenting the call on this podcast. Of course, this is all alleged, but it seems very credible to me.
Here's the straight facts, and I want you to understand this before, like, we never ever talk again. You live on across the other country. Yeah, that's great. You're going to meet somebody. I hope they're rich. I hope they're a doctor, and I hope they make a lot of money because that's your only hope in life. I'd be honest with you.
So this is like from the jump, by the way. I'm just going to show like bits and pieces of this because none of it makes any sense, and it just gives you the color of this guy when he like isn't hamming it up for the camera. Though I don't know where this was recorded, if this is like legally acquired, you know, because like certain states are two-party or whatever. I'm just commentating on something that was already released publicly on a podcast. Ethically, I'm perfectly comfortable with it because Chris is clearly the aggressor here.
Because that's your only hope in life, I'll be honest with you. And like, I hope
So again, why are you being that mean?
I'm not being mean, I'm being honest.
That's
Marta.
I hate when people do this. I'm not being mean, I'm just being honest by saying marrying a rich doctor is your only hope in life. You tiny, tiny man. And I mean that like in offense, in full offense to you. You're a small person, mentally, physically, emotionally, small.
Yeah, that's the only hope for you. I'm being honest. Like,
What
I'm
do you
being
mean that's-
honest with you. And you're getting mad at me. You're getting mad at me because I'm speaking the truth.
The audacity, I just can't believe it. You're getting mad at me. I'm being mean to you, and you're getting mad at me. Interesting. I should be able to be mean to you, and you have to just take it. What the hell?
Sex like 6 other dudes, but after me. Listen, Marta, listen to me. Listen to me. I do not give a fuck.
I'm like really just hoping he says, I don't give a flying fuck.
Because of the last text messages I've received from you, and I want to make it clear to you and put it in your brain so you understand going forward in my life in your life of what's going to be like a thing.
He said he was sober, by the way, and he said he was drinking a cup of coffee. It doesn't seem that way to me. Kind of sounds like when he was blasted on the happy hour on the show.
And like, look, you can have sex with 10 fucking 15 dudes. I don't give a flying fuck.
There it is. Let's go.
You see something of $60,000, you text me about $60,000. Marta, I don't give a fuck about $60,000. I was $380,000 in consumer debt. You think they're going to give somebody money?
Okay, so my favorite part of this call is he's in a drunken, rambly rage, of course. Like, no one's ever... You can already tell this from the show, but when he's on one, no one's getting a word in edgewise. He randomly offers that he was in $380,000 of consumer debt as a brag. Like, I don't even understand how that happened, why you're telling me about it.
There was 1 year where I literally made $790,000 and I didn't pay taxes. I didn't pay fucking $1.
And then he admits to tax fraud or evasion. He admits to not paying his taxes. Allegedly, this is his response to her asking him to pay $500 for half of the vacation that they took together. And then all of this happens. Poor people, when they say this costs money, blah, 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 money, you want to know about money? I have lots of debt. That's money that I don't have. And one time I made a lot of money and I didn't pay taxes, okay? So you can tell the cops. Lock me up. He's so bad. And I can't believe it got worse than Shake, but it did. Thank you for humoring me. I am addicted to reality television once again, and you'll probably have to hear about that. Have a good day. Stay gold, everybody.